Hello, YouTube friends.
What's up, YouTube?
What's going on, y'all? We're in a whole different ball game here.
Yeah. Hi guys. Welcome.
Hey. So if you guys don't know, we're Tokudon. We're the guys, the fools in the videos you've been watching. Normally we do this over on Twitch. So if you want to go follow, you should go follow that first. Twitch.tv/KaijuCarl. We're still going to hang out there. That's not going anywhere. We just figured, we do the Toku stuff on this channel, so might as well do the live thing on this channel too.
The big league stuff, we're trying with the big boys.
Y'all seem to really like the videos we've been doing, so figured we might as well give it a shot.
Way to go. Good one. I like that one, by the way. What was it again? The Why Buffa?
Why Buffa? Yeah, that was the first one that we dropped, and I think just because it's the current season, people really like that one.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
And then your first one was Y01.
Y01.
Yeah.
A little older, but I hope that people who like 01 tell more about that one, because dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna knock Buffa, because I think we've established that this is a Buffa household.
Yes, this is absolutely a Buffa household.
So it's fine, but 01, guys, that story is there for you. It's already told. We don't gotta wait anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a couple more bites out of it. I'm telling you, it's delicious.
It's delicious. Fine. It's fine, I guess.
It's fine, I guess.
It's fine, I guess.
You know what?
Go ahead.
What I like the most about this whole opportunity here, dude. So I've been thinking all these YouTube videos that we watch just to keep in touch with all this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing today, pretty fresh. So we're kind of the first ones out here doing this stuff, huh?
I mean, sure, yeah, totally. We're totally trailblazers in the way of toku tubing. That's for true.
It's so like us.
Yeah, we're
so
totally. Yeah, it only took 3 years for us to just start fucking making actual YouTube videos. It's fine. We've been doing this podcast for close to 4 now, and it only took 3 years. I guess 4 years almost for us to actually put out actual videos that we've been talking about since we started the podcast.
Practiced them. We had to get the right tone. Now we're here, and you guys are here, so let's party.
Yeah,
let's fucking party.
Now we're here to party. So yeah, today, this is also, if you guys don't know, we usually record this podcast live. Like I said, over on twitch.tv/KaijuCarl, we usually record it live, and then we kick it out to the RSS feeds and across the podcast spectrum. I'm stuck. Oh God, I'm stuck.
You're getting the best. You're getting the best of us all at once.
You guys get the unedited, raw bullshit ramblings of 2 insane people today. So this is the first time on YouTube. I'm sure we're gonna have our usuals here. They usually come support us no matter what we do. I appreciate y'all. But if you end up new to this show, you'll see the shenanigans that I usually don't even bother cutting out, because that's just what it is. But you get to experience it live with us. So I don't know if there's with YouTube, just so you guys know, there's a couple things we won't be able to do, like design a rider, design a kaiju, design a sentai. We won't be able to do that. So we're just testing the waters. That's all it is.
All we're seeing is how this is gonna flow. If we like the vibe, if things are cool, we'll go. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Let's go.
Yeah, and full transparency, it saves me the trouble of editing off the Twitch video and uploading it to YouTube. And so that saves me a couple steps, because I'm usually the one editing the other videos, which also take a lot of time. Which, by the way, the one in work right now is your next piece, which is Why Genta Igarashi. By the way, so look forward to that, guys. Yeah. Hopefully this week.
Funny we talk about that. Yeah, hopefully. But it's kind of funny, because as I feel about 01, this whole Genta Igarashi thing kind of is weird how this is tying into what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So if anybody's not familiar who Genta Igarashi is, he is the father figure of the previous series main hero, Iki, which is Kamen Rider Revice.
Yep.
So, why don't we get into what we're talking about?
Yes. So today's main topic is actually, it's not recent. It's been a while now, but we finally have the fan subs of the Geats X Revice movie Battle Royale, which is the crossover movie they always do. Well, used to always do, and then they skipped a couple years because COVID and things like that. I don't think we actually got a 01 crossover movie, with. No, we did get Geo. I'm sorry. We got Heisei Generations Forever. But did we get... I don't think we got a Saber 01 crossover movie.
No, because Hell's... The Real Time.
Yeah, there's the Real Time, it's just him, and then there's this trio of Deep Sin, that's just them. I don't think we actually got a crossover with Saber and 01. We didn't even get like an episode, I don't think. Like, Revice at least got an episode with Saber.
Come on, let's make sure we are not wrong. We have the technology.
We do have the technology, but while you find that, I'll give the blurb about this movie we're talking about here. So
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about Kamen Rider Geats X Revice Movie Battle Royale. It's a crossover film between Geats and Revice and Kamen Rider Ryuki because 20th anniversary. That's literally the only reason. And serves to commemorate 13th movie war. In the film, Iki and Ace battle Koshiro's demons from the clutches of Colas. And we'll get into who fuck Koshiro is in a second. An evil game master who's pitted the riders in the Desire Royale against the Mirror World riders and the powerful Kamen Rider Seeker. So that's your back of the box description of what this movie is.
It says it's Kamen Rider Reiwa Generations, Saber and 01 with Legend Riders. It's a crossover film that I guess we've missed out on. I'm
gonna call shenanigans, but sure, why not?
Sure.
Sure.
But so this movie is a hell of a movie. I know that there's so much going on that for one, you hit it right out the gate. They knock you right on your ass with this Koshiro introduction.
Yeah.
So we've had this entire show with Revice. We've gone through this entire, emotional journey with these people. And then in the first 3-4 minutes of this movie, they're like, here's a brand new character. Yep. We're not going to tell you what happened, why he's here. He's a baby. Well, infer it for yourself.
I mean, I can tell you what happened and when and where. I'm going to go with, oh God, you survived Vale. Humpity hump.
About my Genta, you'll see that he's quite the stud.
Yes.
May I say. But all I'm saying is, okay, so we're right off the bat, not even truly told how much time has passed.
No.
We're assuming it's at least been 9 months.
It's been. I feel like vaguely. I feel like they mentioned a year or so.
Has it?
I think at some point they're like, oh, it's been about a year since the fight with Geef ended. And, like when he's doing that whole monologue in the beginning. So if you guys aren't familiar with these crossover movies, they always set it up the same way. There's the first part with the first rider, the second part with the second rider, and then they kind of combine the third act. That's essentially how these are always laid out.
Sometimes good, sometimes not so good.
Sometimes trash. And then part of that with these movies too is like sometimes the first chunk is really good, sometimes the second chunk is really good, sometimes the third chunk is really good, sometimes only one of those chunks is really good, sometimes they're all kind of meh. This one, I don't know. I have to think about it. I'll think about it while we're talking about it.
Yeah, so because I kind of developed my feelings pretty solid on this one.
Okay. I
want to like it because I feel like this is Revice episode 50, whatever the last episode should be, right? So if this is actually canon, which I don't think we figured out yet, if they're going with the Revice section canon,
I'm going to say, so on the canon part, I'm going to say, I was thinking about this when you mentioned it to me earlier. I'm going to say it is because it's a direct sequel to the last moment that happens in Revice.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it feels that way. Not so much for the Geats part, though. The Geats section of this movie is like, why is it here? It's here because they found a way to do it.
Yeah, but I think it kind of falls in like a Dragon Ball Z timeline kind of thing, where the movies sort of take place in this chunk, but not really. Like, when you have like Cooler and Brawly and all those movies, they kind of take place in like the weird 10-day gap of the Cell games, and then you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, they just beat Brawly. Why are they not way stronger? That kind of thing. So it's like, it's not really in the timeline because Buffa, speaking of Buffa, he's supposedly dead at this point. Like, they think he's dead and they're curious, like he's retired, so they're wondering why he's back and how he came back. So that means this is right after he had his stand and he dies in Ace's arms essentially.
But I feel like they're making that just so that it's because of when this was released, it's kind of like, hey, this is still kind of taking place. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, like that. They would have shoehorned it into like the end of that game, like right before Jirori is revealed and right after Buffa died. That kind of thing. Yeah.
So basically, we're introduced to what's ever been going on with XYZ time that has passed since the end of Revice. Yep. They're all living a whole different life now. The Phoenix is now a company called Bluebird, which is now run by George and Hiromi, and Hiromi My man Hiromi, he's getting younger. He's got that Benjamin Button internal syndrome going on
Apparently.
here.
I forgot that was a thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot 99% of Revice because if you guys, since we're on YouTube now, I'll say it again. I'm not a huge fan of Revice. If you guys didn't see that episode where we like wrapped it all up, I am just not a fan of Revice. I don't think it was very good personally. I'm not going to say like, hey, you suck for liking it. That's whatever. Except for this guy. He sucks for liking it. But,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I personally do not like Revice. I don't really care for any of the characters. The story was meh to me. So like, I don't know, like the suits were cool. Like seeing the Revice suit again, I was like, okay, I do really dig Rex. Rex is a dope suit.
Yeah, Gifford Rex too.
Gifford Rex too is fucking hot. I love that suit.
I'm with the whole thing. Like I got over all of the whole. This is just like no. I love this whole thing.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing. It's what else too. Seeing it again, seeing it more. Because in the other episodes, it's like, I don't know, something about, maybe this was like higher quality, because this was like really clean looking to me. Clean in the episodes.
They buffed all the suits, like literally buffed it with like some polish.
And then some of them they didn't.
Yeah, the Holy Live suit or whatever the fuck the last one's called, the Live Forever, whatever, Emperor, whatever.
Yeah,
Evality, that still looks like shit, so that's fine. It looks like duct tape on his like disgusting gross one. Iskande, what's up? The Hiromi thing gets fixed across the V cinemas. Yeah, he like gets all his memories back in the V cinemas or something, and he like we didn't check out the Igarashi family one or the one that's like Daiji and Hiromi. We didn't check that one out yet, or the George one, which just came out pretty recently. I'm assuming he's like going backwards, and that's why he has like Super Spider by the time he gets to his V-Synix.
Yeah, like he's 50 years old now, so he's like half my age.
He's going down. Yeah, he was. I was 50 about 42 lifetimes ago, so we're good.
Fucking spine is still 87. So basically, you get that they've changed Phoenix into a good company. So Hiromi's like they're doing like I guess research still into the whole thing because they detect something that's going on, and it's like a tear in the sky. If you remember,
it's literally a horizon, like a black hole horizon. Yeah, the effect that they're using.
So they detect that something is happening with this horizon thing. Now this is after all the expo dumps from the beginning. So you're already like, oh, okay. So I know what Revice is. I know who these two people are. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're introduced to these new dope ass looking villains.
No, that's not what happens first.
Okay.
So again, we're they separate into like this rider, both. So we're starting with the Revice section. They literally start this off with them like hurrying Iki down a hallway as he's bleeding out, and his whole family is crying around him. I was like, you have my attention. Okay,
you're right. So they do like this whole out of body thing with Iki too.
Yes.
So he's going down this obvious hospital corridor, and like everything is all super slow motion, everything is all super zoomed in, and like they're panicking and shit. And then Iki's like in the back of the hallway,
like watching all of this go down.
Yeah, like I mean, it felt very like. So he's dead again?
You know what it reminded me of immediately, which is something else we checked out, so you guys can actually scroll through the Tokudon playlist and see it. The opening to Karas was exactly the same, if you remember. He's literally bleeding out and dies, and that's how he becomes Karas. He becomes a spirit that way.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a flash forward because we go back and this is the whole beginning we have, and then they have an opening where they're all naked because they're naked in a bad house.
Yeah, they just do that. I mean, that's cool. I'm down for that. Whatever.
That's fine. It's just it was like why?
It's awkward when it's family. You know what I mean? Like. It's cool. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I get the ab appeal. Trust me, I do. It's just when it's like when they're all naked staring at each other when they're like brothers is when it gets weird. And like dad and brothers and sisters there too. And it's like, this is a little weird now. But
that's like that. So that happens. But this all leads up to them kind of getting this idea that I guess over time they've filled Iki in on Vice. So even though he doesn't truly remember him, I guess enough stories have dropped and enough moments have dropped where they've been like, hey, you happen to have a devil and you just don't remember.
He knows the stories. He doesn't actually have the memories. Like they told him what happens. He knows about Love Cove. He knows about Kagero. That's Daiji's, right? Kagero. Yeah.
Kagero, yeah.
He knows, he knows about all these other ones because he even says like, hey, I had a demon of my own apparently at some point. His name was Vice, but I don't remember him.
Right, which is kind of like, okay, that's fine because they don't really do too much, but they show that this is starting to affect him,
Yeah.
and it's starting to, like, I don't know, wear him down, whatever.
Yeah, he's just kind of like upset. He's like, everyone, because he sees like Sakura and Love Cove having a blast. Kagero and Daiji are just like bros now, apparently, which I'm sure that happens in like their little thing. I mean, that kind of happened towards the end of it, but that was
I know you didn't like the show, but the speaking on that, their dynamic coming along, they're all like a whole family now, and that's
I guess. And that's kind of like the theme of this one. Like, that's the whole Revice story, is like the demons are part of the family too now. And Peacemaker saying that, they had to get the moms in the theater somehow. Yes, that is absolutely true. That is 100%.
I mean, I get it. I mean, the whole point is, like, I was there. I turned around for a second, and then all of a sudden I saw Ryder Dong. So I'm like, oh, okay.
You look back, you look forward, and there's rubber ducks and abs. And you're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Suddenly
hate this, but pause. How did we get here?
And let me tell you, Genta's a stud, bro.
He's so much of a stud that they have a new younger brother. His name's Koshiro. Mom, good on you, Mom.
Yeah.
But I also was like, wait, I was trying to like do the math. This sounds terrible. I was trying to like do the math on their mom a little bit, and I was like, is she too old? Is this a miracle? Like, what? And then I remembered that like Iki is the oldest one at like 22. So yeah.
Let me tell you this. This is how we'll leave it. She handled Veil.
Yeah, she did.
She can handle anything. Yeah, she can handle anything.
She punched Veil, I'm pretty sure.
She can handle anything. So Koshiro is this cute, adorable little chunky baby that they've just sprouted. So all of a sudden they're all it's just so
budded off of Mama.
It's still taking me aback to get used to this. I'm like, Koshiro, okay, new one. So it's implied that the entities that appear, these alien robot, whatever they are, they appear and they're going after the Geef force, the Geef remnants. They can detect it, so they're going after the Igarashis.
Yeah.
Now, because they get detected prior to that, Hiromi and George are already on their way to go bring the freaking drivers to the vacationing guys, which just so happens to be in the middle of the rocks that they use in all the other shows. I think it's the Wizard Rocks.
It's like the other quarry kind of thing. Yes, it's the Wizard Rocks where Legion did his thing. Yeah, that's exactly where it is. Literally, that's where Infinity showed up. And I think the O's finale, when he's like wrestling with the doctor dude, I'm pretty sure it's the same place.
It's the same beach, I think, but it's them. So they're vacationing there. They're just about to take a picture, and then these aliens arrive, and they blow everything up, and they start attacking them. Yep. So now I know we're going beat for beat, but it's really from here on. Like, this is the first half hour of this movie is just Revice.
Yeah.
So this
is kind of like I said, those are kind of how these movies are laid out. It's like you get the first half hour or so, because this movie's only an hour and a half or so. Yeah, something like that, hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, something like that. So yeah, it's like the first 30, 40 minutes are one rider, the next 30, 40 are the next rider, and then you kind of finish it off with the two of them. So,
but is it because even when they do the Geats section, they don't separate that from the Revice stuff. So like this is all going on, and only the elements that they shoehorn into the Geats section are there. Otherwise, it's not vice versa.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. So it is kind of dope that they imply that they're defying the game master's rules.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Quite literally, because they were like, the DGP came and destroyed our world or something like that. I don't know if you caught that line. Like when was no. So was it Geef? I don't know. But they said something about the game. Yes, it was Geef, because they wanted to use the power to use the win the DGP or whatever. Right. You're right. So this is some other civilization that alien Geef man. Yeah, the main bad guy in Revice is a fucking alien, if you guys didn't know.
Because
Taichi is the main character of Revice. No, he's not.
No, he's not. Daiji's in the shit house forever. Okay.
He's also saying that Kagero and Daiji kind of end a more collaborative or cooperative relationship. Yeah, that's kind of like what I remember, because that's Evility. I'm pretty sure they kind of like accept each other. And they just seem like more so that at this point they're kind of like Goku and Vegeta now, where they're just like, I hate you but I love you, I hate you but I love you, but I love you. And now kiss, and it's like, wait, what?
Wait, what? I mean, really? I mean, now? Okay.
They're like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, sure, Kagero.
And this guy's in it. Get over demons.
Get over demons. Yes. So Julio has his own his own rider form now, and instead of giving him,
So,
they're
we should have
pouring
mentioned
out
that.
the same
Yeah.
goddamn suit. So
Julio and Aguilera still work for Bluebird, so that's
Yeah.
why they're all together. So
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that.
yes,
But yeah, so they're all together because you can't get rid of a growth
Yeah.
without its attachment, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
so yeah, these two like random dudes who show up, they trump the kids, and they take Koshiro and stamp him with the Gifu stamp and create this little baby alien. Actually, they don't do that right away, but either way.
Koshiro has a Gohan moment though. So like he's about to be attacked by like the nanobots that the Izanagi one shoots. They have two different names. One sounds like Izanagi, the other one sounds like Veritas or something like that. So the Izanagi one, who's like the more powerful of the two, is like about to attack the baby, and it has like this devil shockwave to like shoot.
Right, it does like the
nanobot away.
Gifu scream type thing, like the scream wave,
and then-
the call of
I'm like-
Shabriri.
Because legit, they were about to off the baby. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we're about to off Koshiro.
Yeah,
Thank
and then they
God
were like,
he
oh wait,
had
he
him
has
here.
power. Okay.
Yeah, they Gohan him, and then everybody's like shitting bricks because now the bad guy's like, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the baby. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, so they take the
nobody's
baby.
They take the baby, and now that's when he does a really dick move. Like, so I think we cut back to as he's already downed each of them family members one by one. He does this gnarly blast on Iki.
Yeah.
He like blasts through his chest in one attack.
Yeah.
And then he freaking tentacle
Yeah, he
whips
just
him
like
and
he
block.
like Kenshi telekinesis, like Kenshi from Mortal Kombat telekinesis flurries his ass and throws him into a rock because Daiji can still henshin, and when Hiromi drops the belt off, he's like, you can henshin even without your demon. That like we modified the belt, but you'll be at half strength. So he gives him the freaking Gifford belt buckle, and it's just like the top half, and he plugs it in, so he gets his Gifford form, but it's basically just like his base form. Like it really doesn't do anything. Also, what's up, Mikey?
And it's,
how you doing?
yeah, it's still because it's implied that sure you're only half as strong. Why? Well, because you're missing half the other fucking part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Not that he's weaker as the person. It's just it's only half of what Gifford Rex is.
Yep.
That's fucking cool.
It's like when you unplug the power cable from an Evangelion. That's kind of what's going on here. Oh, you got a time limit. Okay.
And then Shinji just cries.
Yeah, and then Shinji just doesn't get in the goddamn robot. Get in the robot, Shinji. So yeah, and basically it just leads up to an excuse where you have every rider in the show henshin at once. And that's essentially what it is. You have George show up. Hiromi does not show up, but we have Julio, who uses an Over Demons variant. His new Get Over Demons. It's the dumbest name ever. And honestly, again, if you guys didn't check out our like Revice wrap up, Over Demons is one of the worst designs in the show, in my opinion. And then Get Over Demons just makes it infinitely worse. And now we know that, so slight spoiler, I guess, we have the Oteka suit, which is just another Get Over Demons. It's Oteka Demons over Get.
It said, hey, we heard you like your Revice kit bashes. How about we kit bash your kit bash while you're kit bashing this kit bash?
But we're painting this one a little bit different color. So it's definitely not the same, guys.
And the paint's still a little wet, so be careful.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hey, man. I love this stuff. Did I mention that? We love this stuff.
I
really
love Toku. I just hate this suit.
So,
That's
right.
really, and like, I was even like, oh yeah, I forgot George got Juga. Like, I completely forgot George became a writer. So he's like rocking Juga. And I was like, I am now overwhelmed by Juga, or underwhelmed by Juga, because this thing stomped every writer in the show for 4 episodes or something like
Power
that.
scaling means nothing.
And now
anymore.
he's just a bro.
But all right, so before all of that, after Iki gets stomped into the ground, he literally ends up in hell. So like, he's at this weird crossroads where it's like this
because he's dying. He's
Yeah,
literally
and that's
dying.
my point. It's like he literally gets to choose between staying in hell, which is basically living, and dealing with all the burdens of the battle. It's kind of this metaphorical thing. Like he can choose to pass on and no more fighting, and it'll be peaceful, and that's your reward. You don't have to do much.
Yeah.
Or you realize that that's not what you really want. You got some shit.
He gets like a rest easy soldier, or he can step back in and handle the problem, you know?
Right.
So being a common rider, which one do you guys think he did?
Listen,
whichever one brings Revice back.
Listen, so and again, they do this visually by all the memories that he has are like burning constantly in the background.
And it's convenient that they're burned over Vice. Like he can't remember Vice's face. So like it's just Iki in these interactions from the show, and it has like a burnt effect over Vice's face. And then all of a sudden the fire forms Vice's face.
Oh my god. All right, so the visuals on this A+. I'm not taking any. The reason why is because they spent all the money in the keys on this one, because this everything looks nice and really good, especially those cheesy little tentacle energy things. Like even those look good. But other than that, everything else is like, okay, what are we doing here? Because literally the whole story with Revice is the best part of this, because once they corner the bad guys again, everybody gets their drivers, like you said, they hench in, they face him down. Iki's dealing with his crossroads situation, and all of this is building up to obviously what we're getting is Vice coming back, right? So
who materializes and gives him a crisp high five, or the weird like turkey thing that they always do. The turkey, this thing. They always do that. It's like, can you either high five or like hold hands, or like, what is this? What is this? I mean, I know it's the 50. Don't get me wrong. I know it's the 50, but like, this was always turkey to me. Like turkey.
It's because the back end is supposed to be Subaru, and that's all we're gonna say.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Like that.
Anyway.
So they fight the droids, and it's implied that I'm calling them droids, but they're robots, aliens, because they're
robot things from the future past. I don't know.
From the defeated universe that Geef took over at some point. I don't know.
But they're somehow in the DGP. Don't ask questions. Just go with it.
Because that's the only reason that it ties into the DGP. Whatever like convoluted thing that they did there, because I still don't really get it. But they have a dope moment, and I was just watching it. They have a nice moment where the one Izanagi villain is fighting, oh my god, what's her name? Aguilera and John, and they're about to fucking attack him, and he just yanks Daiji by the collar and
puts him right there. That dude was dope. He like that dude had some big dick energy if I ever done seen it in a villain. It was kind of funny. And they like take out his little partner dude, and he's just like laying there until like this dude is like, yo, can you get up? And he's like, brink.
He gave me the vibes of the moon people from Naruto, the whatever they're called.
Yes, the Otsuki or whatever they are. Kagura's clan.
Thank you. Yeah, he had straight up Otsuki vibes, like just that kind of dick. Which he backed it up, because he had nanobots that would fuck you up, and then these tentacle things that would mess you up even more. So all of that, they win because gradually they just take them out. He wakes his boy up. They're about to finish him off. Iki makes a grand ass entrance by choosing to remain in hell. So thanks.
He says, "Hey, I'll go through the trials and tribulations as long as you, actually not as long as anything. As long as Vice comes back, sure, why not? Whatever, fuck it." So he doesn't actually know. He's just like, "Hey, I'm going to help my friends." That's kind of the energy that he goes with. I appreciate that this didn't lead to him like trying to fight these dudes in like basic bitch Rex form. I appreciate that they immediately went into Gifford Rex. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's just that the reason why they did that, we didn't mention it, which is the kind of the whole crux of the whole thing, is that Izanagi, or whatever his name is, he actually uses the Vice stamp on Koshiro the baby. And he draws the devil out of him.
Yes.
And it's this adorable gimmick plushie that we're gonna mark it out. So
it's a veil plushie is what it is. It looks like a veil plushie.
It's a baby veil plushie. It's so cute. But it has a potty mouth, but it doesn't move. Remember what was the one where we saw where the puppet didn't move, but the actors actually ended up holding it?
Ghost?
Not Yuzuden. Oh man, it was one of these movies that we covered. It was that kind of gimmick where it's implied that this thing is moving because the actors are like jostling it about. I think Sumuri is holding it at one point, and she's like shaking uncontrollably. It's so weird, but to get that effect across. Anyway, so that's that. The moment they do that, that's when they shit the bricks, because they're like, "Fuck, we messed up already. It's too late." Iki shows up, and in a dope ass thing, he's riding a motorcycle, which is a rider riding a motorcycle.
Crazy how that worked. but he's also magically all better.
Yeah, and then he jumps and it makes the classic sound effect. Nice touch.
Yeah.
And then Vice appears.
They hench it, and then they fight. They have an actually pretty solid fight. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Revice, but like the fight choreography was never my issue with that show. And this one actually does it really well. And the two of them, Buffa Onitaijin's mentioning the pose after the finisher that they do, which is a really cool finisher. They do the usual like magnetic thing, dual kick, and they take both of them out. And then they do the countdown. The 3,
it's a nice
2, 1.
I like it, man.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I like the countdown. The countdown's kind of, I mean, it's Forza, but it's a cool little countdown. But yeah, the pose that they strike when they do it is kind of cool. It's kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie.
The whole thing is tough.
Yeah.
And that's when you pretty much wrap up this whole thing. It's like, hey, Vice is back. This is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to win. And then that's when you're finally introduced to the DGP portion of this by this new character who we have no idea who it is. And I thought it was a whole different character before we got the revelation, because I was about to blow your phone up. Mind blown if they were going to go that route.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the DGP gets involved, and it's revealed that this new mysterious character is trying to gank the whole thing.
Yes.
He steals the devil that was pulled from the baby.
Yep.
So
and the crux of the whole thing is he's wearing a Game Master mask.
Good. I like this one though.
This one's good.
These masks are nice.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It's not implied anything different that he's just another dude like them.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's not like no one says like, oh, he's an ex Game Master. No, not right away anyway. No one says like, oh, this other game. Like he just shows up and he's like, I'm the Game Master. We'll start the Desire Royale again. And I was like, did they plan to have this current arc be the Desire Royale too, or is this something different? Okay, we're just gonna not ask and go with it. Okay.
Well, he shows up and he takes over the game console area where we always see Sumuri and the Game Master, which is Gidori, and he interrupts the hero's game of D&D. I think.
Yes.
Is it D&D they're playing?
I think so. So let me pull up the screen here so everyone can see it at home.
I don't know.
It's basic. So this is the mask. His name's Colas. He is the new Game Master that shows up. It is a dope ass mask. So yeah, I think
they're dressed up in goofy outfits.
They're doing like, so a friend of mine actually does this thing called Dungeons and Drafts, which is kind of what this is, and it was kind of cool. Like they just go to bars and things like that, and they set up like all level area, like small group D&D sessions. Like they'll have 50 people show up, and they're running a whole bunch of small sessions for people who've never played before, for people that are experts and want to do like challenge runs kind of thing. All kinds of stuff like that. And that's kind of what I thought this was for a second. And I think it's just honestly like a D&D cafe kind of thing. That's kind of just the vibe I got.
Not knowing much about it, I'm like, is this a real game or are they just pantomiming shit? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but okay. And it doesn't really matter because this is just to see them in goofy outfits and to acknowledge that Michinaga's back, because why?
Michinaga just like shows up and they're like, hey, wait a minute.
How are you?
And he's also like, I don't know. Let's just go with it.
He's legitimately just like, we have something to focus on. Let's just focus on it. So they get called to the platform, and I'm just putting a personal thing here. Sumuri's nice. Goth Sumuri?
Yo, hang on. We're gonna pause and do a little something here. We're gonna simp a little bit. Let me tell you about goth vampire queen Sumuri. Good lord! Oh my god!
I'm okay though. I'm okay.
I loved it. I was like, can we have that Sumuri all the time?
I really hope that they do it.
That's my deity, if you know what I'm saying.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, it's Gone Day. I have not watched. Did you watch 34 yet? For Geats? I haven't watched it yet either. No. But also, before we get into the more Geats section, Mikey asked what our opinion was of the Imperial Demons, which is the one from his short with the cape and everything.
Anything after the first version of Demons is not okay.
There you go. That's the correct answer. They missed an opportunity to make him like full 70s Spider-Man. And honestly, like I said, I will die on the hill. Demons in the suit is the coolest part of the show, and they just keep making it worse.
worse and worse.
Yeah,
and if
it's like using the Dragon Knight suit for literally anything but Dragon Knight, so that's fine. It still doesn't hurt, guys. It's fine.
We'll talk about that in a sec, because these suits are whew. All right. I feel bad because it's like it doesn't make sense why, other than true laziness, because you could kit bash 7 other designs. It obviously you did it with Oteka, you know what I mean? So why not do that?
And
instead?
I get, from a story standpoint, this is supposed to be this is the Ryo Trooper belt, right? Like, this is the one that they can kind of, like, the whole point is they can use it without a demon, right? And
yes,
like, I get it. It's just, it doesn't make it okay.
but it's also the fact of who they have using it. They're giving it on top of
Julio,
giving it to characters who haven't had relevancy in any plot, any consequence. They don't do anything, and then it gets jobbed out again. So it's like,
I will pull up and Get Over Demons for everyone.
Yeah, it's not okay.
That's the wrong one. Where's Get Over Demons? There it is. There it is. It just makes the horn longer and makes it orange instead of blue. I will say, though, for this one in particular, I don't know if Kuwagata is the same. Kuwagata is the same. Okay. The part that doesn't have the horn is pretty cool. Like, I honestly kind of dig, like, everything that isn't the Kabuto or the Get Over, whatever this thing is. It's a giraffe. Oh god, it's a giraffe, really? But whatever the bug part on top of it, I do like that. Like, the orange part in this Get Over Demons that, like, isn't this fucking thing. Like, I like the helmet itself, and I like this undersuit. It's just like, this was cool on Veil, but like
the spider undersuit, dude, like the black and white.
This is really what kills it too, because it doesn't need to be on top of this.
It doesn't need to be there anymore. Like, you're redesigning a driver, then the undersuit should be redesigned as well.
Yes, Escande just said the same thing. The color should have matched the suit. Yes, if they took this and made it all, I'll pull it back up for a second. If they made it all this, like, orange and silver, like, make this orange, all that, and just kind of, like, make this silver, I would have been okay with it. I would have been okay with it in Over Demons as well. But they don't, and that's just annoying. And I think it's because they only have one of these undersuits for all of these suits.
And they don't wash them, so
they probably don't wash them, so you got everyone's funk in there.
They're all just ready to go.
They're just hoping it's the same suit actor every time.
Speaking of suit actors, how about Ojas? Oh my god! All right, anyway, we'll get there. So, listen, I'm not. Obviously, we all have the same problem, but I am well aware what I'm gonna look like in a bodysuit. So
and so did that guy. He rocked it, to be fair. That man, whoever was the suit actor for Oja, had zero shame, and I appreciate it.
That's my point. Is like, I saw this thing, and every time he was on, I'm like, dude, you're the man.
Respect. Hell yeah.
You are the man.
Yes.
And then he goes and plays Oja. Like, Oja. Yeah. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to crush you and then drop my gut in your face.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Oh, goodness.
I respect it. Yeah. I love it. Anyway, we'll get there again. I just couldn't help that. So, this is my point. Gatsumuri gives us this whole game that they're gonna now put in front of the DGP guys.
Yep.
Hey, we're putting the devil baby inside of a capsule core thing, and then you guys just got to go chase it. Okay.
It's literally, you know what it literally is? It's one of those cat backpacks, is what it is. It has the actual window and everything. Like, it's a hard backpack with this, like, orb-looking window. It's literally a cat backpack that they were just like, let's put this baby inside.
They did. And then what happens is, like we said, how we got Gatsumuri, we also get eccentric Prince George, and he's super over the top. As George is, he's Super Saiyan George. Like, he is hamming every scene up, and really, like, bro, like, he gets to be all over Sumuri, and he lives that shit up. Like, holy shit. He's just, like, hamming it. And anyway, it's one of the fun aspects, because you could tell, like, this whole thing was so much fun for them to do. This part for them, like, they were just having fun with it. The others, I'm sure they were just as confused as we were, because this whole game, you can tell it's keep away. It's a game of keep away. So the Colas, right? Colas knows that
is the game master. Yes.
Yeah. Colas knows that the Revice guys are gonna come after them. He's calling them the baddies.
Mm-hmm.
They're the baddies. They're the Devil Riders. You got to keep the baby away from them because they're gonna steal Grogu. So you got to keep Grogu away from them. So
the Jedi, the space sorcerers are coming for Grogu.
You have to be careful. So legit, that's all this game is. It's just a game of keep away. And it's the whole plot of the Geats thing is because they don't talk to each other for the first like 20 minutes of this section until they actually do, and then everything's cool. So, you know what I'm saying?
And then they go, "Oh shit, it's you!" Literally, that's literally what
he says. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He literally says, "Oh shit, it's you."
Yeah. Okay.
Because they just don't talk to each other because they're just like, oh, these must be some rider dudes in other suits, and like they have the matchups you would think, kind of, because like again, Vice is back, so he's factored into this a little bit. He's running around, you know, they turn into regular Rex. They turn into they get rid of Gifford and turn into regular Rex. So Revi and Vice are running around separately. You know, Iki is going off with Geats. But before they separate, they have the genius plan of what vehicle should we take to the finish line, and they get in the goddamn moving van because Michinaga goes, "I work construction, I can drive that."
Yeah, man. Michinaga's like, "I got this, bro. I got it." But
so he gets in the driver's seat, and everyone loads in the back, and I was like, "What is happening right now?"
It's so. All of this is to distract and separate them, so they come up with this plan to like pretend like each of them has the Grogu, and then they go into separate directions and divide and conquer. So it works.
And that's when you get the square ups, right? Like you get Daiji and who does he go up against? Oh my god,
Vice and
so Vice and Buffa like square up, and then it's Kawa and Daiji. Kawa and Daiji.
Daiji. Kawa and Daiji.
And then
so
Sakura and Nago. I forget her name already. Neon. There you go. Good lord.
Yeah.
They square up and do their thing. So like that's the four. There's only the four riders right now. It's the main four. They weren't going to be like, here's 97 riders and the Revice guys. So the thing is, while this happens, like, so Daiji and Kawa are the first ones to kind of like cross, right? Like they're the first ones to cross blades. And it first off, that's not the right secondaries. Where Buffa is the correct secondary, but I get it. I get why they did it. It wasn't. Let's not anyone use this as an example of battle of the secondaries.
We're not going to blasphemy here. He is the secondary. He's just not a very good one.
No, Kawa's not the secondary. He's the tertiary character. So who's been around longer? I'm just saying. But we're not using that logic with Garen because Chalice is the secondary, and I will die on that hill. But either way, they square up, and eventually this red wall is coming at them, and it's literally a Fortnite wall where like
a deletion wall. Yeah, it's a deletion wall. It's like, why?
Yeah. So as they see this wall coming at them, that's literally the Fortnite like shrinking area thing because it's a battle royale. That's about. If you guys never saw the movie Battle Royale, that's where all this like Fortnite and everything started. Just so you guys know. But as they're fighting, Oja shows up, or not Oja, Ren. I'm sorry, Ryuga. Third time's a charm. Ryuga shows up, of all people.
But before that, there's two moments that happen here that they don't even talk about.
Yeah.
So, Kagero takes over after like a couple rounds between he and Kawa, right? Kagero does like a cool little "I'm a ninja" and he appears behind him, and he touches Kawa's forehead, right?
Yes, I forgot about that. Oh my god.
And as soon as he like connects with Kawa's inner world, that's when he realizes that there's another fucking devil inside of Kawa, or something like a devil. He goes, "Who are you? Like, what are you?"
He's like, "Let's see what your inner demon's all about." Bing.
And he's like, "What the fuck is that? What is that?"
It's like literally a high school emo kid being like, "I want to save everyone."
Yeah, he's just like, "I'm just some guy who wants to save the world."
Yeah,
and it's just like,
Kagura's like,
"What just happened?"
Where am I?
Legit. And not only, and like you said, they don't even get time to wipe the shit out their ass from that before Ryuga shows up. It's like what's up?
Yeah. And then Ryuga, not Ryuki. Let's clarify that. Ryuga, who is, if you guys never saw, was the movie writer / final villain. Like he's the evil Shinji. He shows up.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, here's this other writer that happened to show up, and you're like, why is it?
Like, you remember how you got Decade? Like what, 7 years after this, and his whole thing was, "I'm gonna destroy everything." Yeah, that was Ryuga.
Yeah, Ryuga shows up and he's like, "I'll kill you all," because
everybody.
He just literally walked in and goes, "I'll kill you all." Power. I need more power.
And he does.
He does.
And he does. And he beats them. He beats Daiji and excuse me. He beats Daiji and Kagero, and they're deleted. Keiwa, they get the retired sound effect. So it's like that's serious. Whatever that wall is, legit. So now it's a whole thing that they have to worry about on top of outrunning everybody. So these layers are stacking up. And now they're being hunted by these outsiders too. So holy shit.
Which they don't know until they all go through this first round where we meet all of them. So then it like, I think Vice and Buffa are the next two, right? And that's when
the next two is, it's like they kind of intermingle.
Oh, okay.
So the next two is Geats and Revice. They have
right. They're doing their elaborate thing because Revice is so you know the T-Rex that is most known for its jumping power is Revice is Revi is utilizing the power the jumping power of the T-Rex.
I want to compliment the director
this
for refraining from any remixes because I don't think I would have been able to handle any remixes in this movie.
No,
that would have been just a bridge too far for me.
Yes, no. So the remixes can die with the shit show. Literally, it's fine.
They can die with Get Over Demons, like at the same hole.
Just put it all in the weird tiger trap. It's fine.
So meanwhile, you're having this first round of Geats and Revice, which is actually kind of dope because they're fighting on this truck, cart truck, whatever those things are called. But they're jumping back and forth between the two levels of this truck.
Ultra Magnus.
Yeah. Thank you.
They're fighting on Ultra Magnus. If you guys didn't know, it's one of those like car carrier type trucks.
They're fighting on par though. Like I like that they didn't have one over the other.
No.
So it's kind of cool that even base Revice in the complete form is equal to Geats. Even though two different fighting styles, which is kind of cool too. Because
is Sky saying they think Revi was using Jackal? I don't believe so because he doesn't switch forms back, and he does like the T-Rex's thing is like the legs. I think he had the CG legs on while he was jumping. So I think it might have been Jackal honestly because it was kind of moving that way, but I feel like it had more of that like jumping effect, and that was always the T-Rex thing. But either way, I mean, he's keeping up with the truck. That's all that matters.
And he catches up.
Yeah, and he catches up and lands on the truck. So, yeah.
So, and this is kind of cool because they're splicing in the three sequences.
Yeah.
In the middle of that, you have Jean and Nago chasing each other through.
Literally chasing each other. They're not even fighting. They're just like running through a shopping mall.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because you could tell like this has they're going for different vibes here. They're going for this crazy Fast and Furious vibe with Geats and Revice. Then they're going for this really grungy handheld shit with Jean and Nago.
Yep.
And then they have a subway fight between Vice and
literally
Buffa.
a subway fight. But what I really liked about I think it'd be easier if we just like focus on one instead of jumping back and forth with the
I'm just saying they're all going on at the same time.
It's like intercutting between them, like something happens in this one, something happens in this one kind of thing.
Keep that. They're cutting back and forth.
Like they're cutting back and forth. But like with Neon and Sakura, I really liked that it wasn't a fight, right? Like both of like Sakura is a fighter, but like it's really not in either of their natures to really just like start fighting, right? Like Sakura fights, don't get me wrong, she'll square up for anyone who messes with her family, but like she's not trying to like pick fights with people.
Right.
And it's also like watching it was kind of funny because I was like, I know if they just like took off their masks, they'd probably be best friends, and that's kind of just what happens. So like they have the same energy, so you know they'd just be best friends, and like you find out eventually Sakura is like a huge fan of her streams or something.
there's a dope sequence where she's like hiding from her and she like dehensions and shit. And she's like, oh, you're a fan, hide me in your noodle shop please. You know what I mean? Like it's like those kind of elements that find their way into these are just it's gold. It's garnish on top of the beautiful salad it is. But meanwhile that's going on, you have Geats and Revice literally like trying to kick each other off of this truck.
Yes, they're literally like Revi pulls out the axe gun. I forget what it's called. The Rex axe gun thing that they use. You know, the phone axe thing, that thing. His weapon. His fucking thing. Yeah, he pulls that out. He's trying to like outshoot Geats and it doesn't work very well. And then he starts swinging and Geats like kicks it out of his hand and it like falls over and like does all this. It's a very like cartoon fight, but it was kind of cool at the same time. But yeah, they're trying to like. They're kind of like whap, 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 like countering each other and going and like jumping between levels and stuff. And they have this really cool shot where they're like looking at each other from opposite ends of the truck, which I thought was really cool.
Yes. That was a good one.
And Buster. Yes, that's what the axe thing's called.
Oing. Yeah. Seal. So yeah, but there's a sequence there where Geats shoots like I guess a sign that's like in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And as it's coming down, he uses it to cover a jump.
Yes.
To switch to the rifle mode, and just I was like, oh my god, that was so dope.
Yeah, he does cool stuff like that, and I was like, that's what a gunslinger rider does. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's really cool because it like blocks his view, and he's like jumping to the side.
This is right around like all of these dope moments happen like and in the subway. There's only a couple moments because they kind of stop the fights for a second when the Talk no Jutsu starts.
Yep.
So obviously, like we said, Nago and Sakura take a second, Geats and Revice take a second, and then Buff and Vice take a second because they bond on the element that they're like, hey, we both just got back to life. Let's not kill each other again.
Yeah, he's like Vice says something like, "You're really gonna kill me? I just got back to life." And Michinoku's like, "Oh yeah, I did too. Yeah, hell yeah." And then they're just like, they both just like look at each other like, "Yeah, I mean, this is kind of." Hey, like, what's up? Like, what do you like to do in your free time? They kind of just like awkward small talk, and then my man Sammo Hung Oja comes through the door.
Bro, Sammo Hung Oja is perfect because this dude he became your typical, vintage karate master. He's just
because like he's so like obviously most suit actors are not large because they need to fit into certain specifications for these suits. Like that's a very it's a known thing that suit actors need to be a certain size, height, that kind of stuff because they need to fit into these specifications for these suits. This gentleman is a Buddha god, and I loved every second of it. He gives all of us hope, all of us larger men hope, and he's rocking this suit like nobody's business, and I loved every second of it.
They really embrace it. I mean, you
I'd be
curious
but it's like,
dude,
if it was the Kyoryu Cyan suit actor. Maybe. I mean, not that there isn't probably a couple like larger dudes in the stunt world, but
because Seiji's a little old now, right? Like,
yeah,
he let himself go a little bit, right?
Maybe. I don't think it was him.
Seiji, but I'm not sure.
No, if anyone knows, I'd be very curious to know who actually was in the suit and what else they played. But yeah, this mammoth, this glorious human comes into the show and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna show me a good time." He does his Oza bullshit, and I was immediately taken out of it because I'm tired of looking at Oja at this point. I'm gonna be honest with you, specifically Oja. I love Ryuki. Again, we've talked about this on the other channel just because we're first on YouTube. I'm gonna say it again. I love Ryuki. It was the one that got me into Kamen Rider when it was airing, or wasn't airing, but it was the first one I watched. It's the first one I made you watch, like I love Ryuki. I'm just kind of tired of Oja being like. He keeps coming back is kind of what I'm tired of seeing.
It's like I know that the legacy that they built up for him in the mangas is like this abysmally unforgivable character, but in any of the appearances he touches there but he never quite gets there, like
it just like it doesn't have the same energy to me as he did in the show, and it's kind of like they play like except that one time he beat what's his face with a fucking 2x4 or whatever it was. That was great.
Bro, you saw whatever the last special was, The Outsiders, right? Where they gave him that upgrade.
Not The Outsiders, where he gets the Survive one, yes. But the one before that he was in, he like beats one of these fools with a fucking 2x4, and it was great.
I mean, that's always
I want to say it was Mach, but I'm not sure.
I would think it's even greater if I saw Nago doing that, but you know what I'm saying? I get the point. But my point is like they gave him what everybody was hoping, this survive mode, and it was not great.
Because it wasn't the SIC survive mode. Everyone wanted the SIC survive mode.
Well, they had everything written for them and they still dropped it. So all I'm saying is like enough Oja, please.
Yep.
So he interferes with their
X-Aid, that's what it was. Yes, it was X-Aid. Hell yeah. X-Aid? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh.
So it was yes. So Sakura, thank you, Sakura. Jiro Okamoto was the suit actor, and who was the actual suit actor for the Oja originally. It's the same suit actor, which is even cooler.
They just embrace the history.
Yeah,
that's perfect, beautiful.
Dude's done a bunch of stuff. Oh my god, he was also Kamen Rider Buster.
It gives me hope that I can look at least half decent in a bodysuit.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
We'll pull it off. But okay, so he interferes with their fight, and he ends up getting Buffa killed again.
Yep. By the same wall.
Yeah. So they're fighting, and they fucking knock each other outside of the subway, while it's moving, and they're both like, okay, let's just keep fighting now. And like OJ hits him with the snake, and that's what beats him. Because honestly, he took the first round. Buffa took the first round. Buffa beat him and knocked him down. And
he just didn't expect him to have a fucking stand.
Right. Yeah. And that's my point.
He didn't expect Advento. Which that belt, that's kind of no matter what, I love Ryuki's voice on the belt. Advento, Sodavento, Final Vento. Oh my god, it's so good. See, that's because it's so iconic for me. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, listen. The way that you feel about that is the way I feel about the 0-1 when they do the whole secondary electronic voice. A jump to the sky turns. That shit gets me every time, and it sounds so simple, but it's like, dude. Anyway, so that's kind of what happens here. He faces the deletion wall, and then OJ gets away. And then so did Vice. Vice stayed inside the train while those two got knocked out to face the deletion wall. So boom, Bluff is gone. Then we cut back to Sakura, just like the talk no jutsu is happening, right? She is, I guess this is like a fan servicey thing where they're eating. Like they're just eating.
Was it? I honestly didn't even notice. I just like, so essentially Neon, like we said, Neon is hiding and like D-Henshin, she's hiding in the shop, and then Sakura's looking around D-Henshin's, and then like she goes, oh, I know this person, and then they like talk. Like that's the key to this. They just all just talk. And then like Ren shows up, Kamen Rider Knight shows up, and they have to fight him, and him being the fucking G that he is just trumps both of them, and they get deleted as well. And then it cuts back to Geats and Revi, and so like as they're doing this epic fight, no one really shows up for this one. I was expecting like the Stingray dude to show up or something, because he's just crazy and different.
If anybody, it should have been Zoldo. That's all I'm saying.
And so Zolda should have showed up for literally anything. That would be fantastic, even if it's not the original dude, like his assistant, or because like his assistant's in Garo. Now that I'm watching Garo, he's in there. It's kind of cool. But just the suit, it could even just be the suit. I don't care. I love Zolda. Zolda is the best part of Ryuki. I would rock the fuck out of Zolda. All you have to do to win any match is just Final Vent. That's all you need to do, because you clear city blocks at a time.
Final Vent from Zolda and just equip it to the fucking Jehuti.
Yeah.
Just goodbye.
Yeah, that's all it is. You just cow missiles and explosions. Blocks gone. I love it. But yeah, so like no one shows up for them. They eventually just like D-Henshin because someone says something like, so, "Hey, like, why are you trying to like steal my son's or my son
family? Family. Yeah.
Why are you trying to hurt my family or something like that?" And Ace is like, "What are you talking about?"
It's like, "Oh shit, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Show me your face, you son of a bitch." And he actually does. He's like, "Okay, here's who I am." And then it's literally like you said, "Oh, it's you."
Yeah, from literally, he goes, "Oh, it's you from the very last episode of my show. Literally the last 2 minutes. It's you." And they replayed where Geats walks up and hands him the Revice buckle.
That's it.
Yeah, and this whole time as they show up, as Kanye just mentioned it as well, George is nerding over Ryuki cameos, calling them the assassins. He's nerding over Ryuki.
I love the fact that they had George do this, because it's just the idea of the fanboy in all of us being as over the top as that. You know what I mean? Like every time I just wish he did it in the show. Like they showed it in that weird crossover thing, and then they showed it in this, and I feel like some of the movies and stuff, like he probably did it in the Century movie. I forget what the hell that movie was. The like ninth fucking anniversary movie that we watched. Something.
Yeah, like I feel like he does it in like the side stuff, but he didn't do it in the show. And that's what really kind of annoyed me. Obviously, like they were inspired by it's an anniversary season. Obviously, they were inspired by them, but like he doesn't say anything to it, and that's kind of what bugged me a little bit. Scott is also mentioning Zolda and Geats gunfight, and that would have been fucking cool.
Listen, I think we talked about that too. Like it's just this whole thing of Zolda doesn't get the love that I think he needs.
Yes, Zolda does not get shit, and I don't know why. Zolda is the coolest character in that whole show.
I think it's because of my affinity for Blasty Boys. I think I like the blasters. It's just a thing for me.
Honestly, for me, it started with it's a green suit, and then it went to that helmet's dope as hell. And then it turned into, like, oh god, the final vent.
He can summon a Gundam. I mean,
you know what it was though? It wasn't even like the shoulder rockets. It was the first time he shows up and he gets the giant cannon and he slides back when he fires it. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one.
That's why I show up. That's why I'm here.
Yes,
this is why I show up for those big cannons.
That's my kind of blasty.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So we don't get any of that. Honestly,
No.
it's unfortunate. But so from that moment, Geef and excuse me, Geef, Jesus, Geats, Geats and Revice team up for the rest of the fucking thing.
And
so they're playing.
They start in a sushi restaurant.
What was that? Who are those people? This is just actors. I hope.
I was like, this is adorable, though. I don't know who they are, but this is adorable.
It was an old couple that ruined their sushi, and then obviously it's kind of good because they cooked it. I don't know. There's a fire attack because Ryuga corners them, and they're racing towards the finish line, and it's just this tuna thing just really messed me up because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
but
that's
it's
all I'm saying.
It's literally all it is this adorable couple, and so they're talking in a sushi restaurant, and like you said, Ryuga like kicks in the door, and they're like, "Everyone get out! Everyone get out of here!" Like these two old people just aren't paying attention, and they keep ordering, and this old guy is like super fascinated by like the sushi. It's this one like salmon tuna. I don't know what it was. It was tuna or salmon. One of those two.
It looked really good.
It looked real good. It looked real good either way. But it's like this big old honking piece, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look at that!" And he like puts it down, and he's all excited, and the wife's like, "Yeah, honey, live your best life. Let's go, yeah!" And like Geats and Revice like stop at the table. They're like, "Hey man, move your ass!
We gotta get out of here because things are happening."
The bad guy is literally looking at us." And then Ryuga does his dragon fist thing that he could summon. And it like they block it, and then it like the flames that are kicking off the way they block. Geats just has a shield all of a sudden. I noticed that. Like that's how he blocks it. He just has a shield. It came out of his like his what the Gamera things, the Magatama like necklace thing that he has. It came out of that, and he just like has a shield that he can use all of a sudden, and it like the flames kick off and like cook the fish that's on top, and he's like, "Oh, you ruined it," and then he eats it, and he's like, "This is even better." And the wife is like, "Oh my god,
oh my god!" It's just like, why is this happening?
Like that had to be the director's parents. I don't know.
Like, I'm going with it because Geats he's just like, "Sup?" You know, just like strolls up to them like, "Hey, way to go, guys. You made it." It's just like, what? And then they I don't know. This whole section was just a big what the fuck. So skip this. Go to the finish line.
They cross the finish line.
They give Grogu to Sumuri, Gatsumuri. And mind you, they're crossing in the most wackadoo things like scooters.
Yeah,
and
like they have like a pedal bike. One of them's just like, I think it's Vice is just like, "Come on."
Vice is on this little trikey thing where he's got to like bounce up and down.
Right, yeah.
Iki is doing like the leg wavy thingies, and Geats is doing like the side. It's just like, why? Just run. So anyway,
it literally. Did they say that? Did they say this would be faster if we just ran and got off the things?
Yeah, they did that. They did say that. They did say that. Let me rewind this. Yes. So they end up crossing the line. They give Grogu to Sumuri, and Sumuri's like, "Gee, thanks." Now, this is where the shit hits the fan.
Yep.
So, Colas finally plays his cards, right? Now, what was his game plan other than stirring the pot? Because
Colas?
He was a former game master, right? Mm-hmm. That was just bored.
Yep.
And wanted to redo everything.
Mm-hmm. He didn't agree the way I interpreted it was he didn't agree with the direction the DGP went, so he wanted to reset it into this really high stakes desire royale. That's what I kind of interpreted it as. I know he's a very flimsy villain. He's not a great villain either. He just has a cool mask. That's really all he's got going on. And he also seems to partner with this random businessman who wants to create legacies for all of his children because, you know, he built his legacy. So he wants a legacy for all of his children. And the only one left is our main antagonist rider, Kamen Rider Seeker, who has a dope opening where I thought there was going to be some like sick underground fight scene. I'm going to be honest with you. Because he's like sweating and punching this bag and he's doing all this like underground fighter shit, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get a street fight, like straight up just street fight? Okay.
Should have been, because it's implied that he's an MMA champion.
Yeah, like they were saying he's this like super fighter kind of thing, and he's like no one can beat him and yada yada yada, and then he shows up and he's like he wanted to bring the Desire Royale back. Yeah, there you go. So they were like, yeah, no, he's this super badass, and his dad's like, you know, he's gonna win it for me so that we can make a legacy together and yada yada and whatever, and it's some flimsy like I'm evil, haha, Do it for me, son.
It really felt like that. And then he reveals that the assassin riders the whole time were working for him too.
Yeah.
So you get the assassin riders who are the Ryuki riders.
Yeah.
Right. And then this wackadoo weirdo dude who's got an assault charge and why he's like not a great dude. So like it's implied that he's like he's got no future, so he's just doing.
Yeah, he's like I don't have a great legacy, so whatever Daddy says, I guess. Sure, whatever.
So when Colas first showed himself and he put on that top hat, I thought we were going to Lupin or Wizard. I was like, wait. Isn't that the outfit of like Lupin or Wizard? Like holy shit!
That definitely looked like the Lupin from Drive, like Lupin outfit.
I was hyped because I'm like, can they tie in a third show? Yeah, please. Like holy shit!
Yeah, like what other season showed up this time? I guess it would have been X8? What was 2013? No, 2013 was.
Oh man,
Wizard.
I would have. Tell me, Drive just for a nice little touch again. I would like to see Drive again. Just saying. But no, he's just a knockoff.
Duh.
Oh, Gaim.
Yeah. That little ditty. That little fucking ditty. You guys ever hear of Gaim?
Remember Gaim? I like Gaim. Gaim's a thing, by the way.
Michi did nothing wrong.
Fuck Michi. So
Michi did nothing wrong.
We get a break after this, and they basically are now faced with this whole new challenge, which is like you said, the Royale. Everybody's gonna go for themselves. Iki and Vice get Desire drivers, which is now something I want. By the way, do they sell those boxes? Because I want one of those boxes.
Yes, they do. The mission boxes, yeah, they do. You can buy them. Toe Collectibles actually has them.
Good.
Yeah,
I want 3.
Yeah, you can buy them. I debated getting one, honestly. You can buy those, and they have like the mission ones too that like the buckles only come in. They have those too. So yeah.
So the Iki and Vice get their own ID cores, which is kind of dope because it's implied that what happened first to get Vice back was kind of wearing off.
Yeah.
And
because a miracle in his heart.
Yes.
That's literally the line that he uses.
You're right. Yeah. That is what
Vice says. I only came back because of a miracle in Iki's heart, and I was like, plot, got it. Yeah. And then that's why he starts to disintegrate.
So he gets a Desire driver in that
to become a contestant, so that it anchors him down longer. Yep. Yeah,
and now okay, so that's pretty much it. So that's the only gimmick that they used to bring him back.
Yep.
Because fine. So the Ryuki riders get their scene with Gatsumuri, and she has them all make a wish, just like the other Desires.
And it's the actual actors, by the way, too. Like it's Shinji, Ren, and I forget Oja's actual name.
Yeah, Oja.
Yeah.
The Oja actor.
But it's actually them, and it's kind of cool to see them, actually, because I haven't seen Ren and Shinji together in a while. So that was pretty cool to see, actually.
To see Shinji again, especially in the Ryuga persona, he's like, it's fuck everything, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, he's literally, like, if you guys never saw that movie, he's literally evil Ryuki, so he's like the antithesis to everything Shinji stands for, and Shinji's very like, I am a Kamen Rider, we're gonna save everyone, yeah, don't fight. Asakura, thank you. Asakura, Oja is Asakura.
Asakura.
Yes. He's very like, I don't want anyone to fight, I'm gonna end the fighting with the riders, like that's his whole thing in Ryuki, and Ryuga's like, yeah, I'm gonna end it by killing you, so... Yeah.
all of them pretty much, except for Seeker, wish for the same thing. You know, destruction
except
of everything.
For Ren. Ren just doesn't say anything.
Ren says he wants the power to destroy everything.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Oja wants to go down in battle, which
Oja's like, I just want to have a good time, man. I want to fight and have a good time.
And then
excite me. He wants to have it. He wants to get excited. Because he's bored.
The Seeker is just like, I want my daddy to be dictator, thanks.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why did you come?
He's here to have a new suit. That's why he's here.
They could have strapped that belt to an angry orangutan and got somebody stronger and smarter.
But you know what the worst part is? Like I said, like this dude is supposedly this crazy... Dark Shinji wanted destruction of the non-mirror world. Yeah. Same thing.
You're right. Dark
Shinji he wanted like the mirror world to exist. Yeah, that's right. You are correct. I forgot about that.
Which is kind of cool. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Seeker, like I feel like was kind of a waste because like he is this, and just getting on to Seeker himself, and we're gonna like it kind of goes into like the later stuff. But like Seeker himself is this fighter. He's supposed to be this big badass dude, and his suit like just builds big dumb CG constructs. Like that's the whole thing, and it was cool. But like,
he's Kamen Rider Fortnite, bro.
Yeah,
Kamen
he's
Rider
literally
Fortnite.
Kamen Rider Fortnite in your Fortnite video game rider.
And I hated it. I hated it. The driver sound effects is nice though.
Yes.
I'll give him the Gigant hammer.
I love the
cannon.
Gigant hammer, Gigant blaster, or whatever it is. Gigant
All
sword.
Of it sounds crazy dope. But literally, the way they portray this whole thing is he's on his own. He's not even teaming with the Assassin Riders to win.
He doesn't give two shits. He literally.
It's
so
just
they put all of them in a stadium, literally. So all the Ryuki riders and it's Revice and Geats, I think, are the only three left. So the three of them are facing off with the three Ryuki riders, and then you have Seeker, and they do this like square up showdown kind of thing, and like they all henshin, and he just like fucks off. Like he's just like, I'm gonna go build my thing. You guys can fight, right?
He's the Fortnite dude who's building the entire fortress while you guys are actually doing the whole work. So he takes like the fight to them at first to like for no reason, because once the Assassin Riders get involved, they take over. So it's just like he's literally pointless. I'm so sorry that
they literally fight once to like show you it's so in you know, you have to set the stakes, right? Like they do a little quick fight just to show you what he can do and set the stakes of what they have to overcome. It's a very common like story thing. You have to set the stakes for the heroes to overcome it. So that's what their little fight is, and it's nothing more and nothing less than that. And it shows him doing like his crazy builder shit. Like he literally pulls out a hammer, smacks it, and like walls form. And like they open up spaces, and he has the Gigant blaster, and it's just like a Zex rifle thing that they've like modified, and he just like starts blasting, and like it's cool, but at the same time I'm like, this is dumb.
Like he's not a threat. He doesn't imply
like he just puts a bunch of bullshit in your way. Like he is not a threat.
So the one thing though, they kind of do this different thing. I haven't seen them do this unless I'm mistaken, but Girori and Colus have a sword fight.
Yeah, so Giori is kind of just hanging out, right? Like because they go back to the little place where the between DGP rounds, so they go back there, the little cafe. And you know, I don't know if this is supposed to be after he is found out to be the game master or not at this point, but like we know as an audience he's the game master.
They do the whole dumb thing,
yeah. So like I don't know if at this point like the writers know, but I'm sure Ace does because he's Ace. But like it's at least after like the audience knows. And it comes to a point where like Jirori's captured and then he's released, and then Sumori is not Gatsumori anymore, and I cried a little. And
it was sad, man.
It was very sad, but it's fine. Sumori's still great.
Yes.
And then it comes to like they're in this guy's office, this dictator dude. They're in his office, and there's just like two swords on the wall. So they put their fucking game master masks on, and they just like square up.
And they sword fight.
Yeah, and then they sword fight. Yeah,
it's actually not a bad one to say that. I won't even diss it because it's not bad.
It's fine.
It's not like, it's just like, why?
It's kind of random.
Like because at the end, like during the fight, the fucking Colas ends up shooting the mask off of Girori. Like, okay, you had a gun, but you still went for the sword.
Yeah,
okay.
Because that's the honorable thing to do, obviously.
But so all of that is to say, we end up getting glare back, and I'm okay with that because Girori's glare was a problem.
Yep.
And he ends up like, after he's just, mind you, and it's kind of cool because he ends up like anime slicing Colus's
big
gut.
Anime slice.
Like it's like they fight, and then all of a sudden he knocks the Desire Driver out of him, and then he ends up anime slicing him, and then Colus does the whole little
Yeah, like it's one step below like him turning and being like shink. Like one step below that. It's kind of great.
It's not bad. I mean, it's just for being what it is. I was like, cool, that's cute. He got his own moment, and then glare, and he just henshins into glare and fixes everything that he fucked up, except Seeker's still doing his damn thing. Yeah. So Seeker's building.
He's like, we're gonna change this game, and then he starts doing like all his like admin shit. And then he's like, and like, whoop, whoop, you know, doing the Omni Tool thing. And then like, all of a sudden, like Sumori's back, George is back to normal. He's just kind of like hanging out at this point. He's just there in the room. He's not really doing anything. He's just like there now. And then they're like, Sumori's like, hey, Riders, new game. Stop Seeker from building the tower to the gateway butthole from heaven. And like, okay. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna handle the Ryuki guys first. Is that cool? Cool. Okay. Cool. Cool.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but Revice and Vice get, they get their ID codes, but they also get Beat and Monster.
Yes.
So we get
Vice
these
obviously gets
forms
Monster.
we get these forms that are just not great.
It's literally the Vice helmet, like his Rex helmet, and the Revi helmet, like the Rex Revi helmet, and the DGP stuff. It's very weird looking. But it also has it has the lower half DGP thing going on, at least for Vice or Revi. I didn't notice if Vice does, but because he probably had the fucking, he's always got the thing on. But Revi at least had like a DGP version of his helmet, which they kind of like changed a little bit, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And so basically the whole thing boils down to the two mains. You have Geats in what was it, Twin Command, and Revi in the music.
Yep. In the music.
And it's just like it doesn't imply strength. You know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be the showdown, and there's the first you get Seeker, who's just literally like swinging the hammer the whole time. That's all he's doing. Yep. You got Daiji and Keiwa. Oh my god, I'm so disrespecting Keiwa. I'm so sorry. You got Daiji and Keiwa fighting Ryuga, and then it's kind of the whole formulaic thing where they get their asses kicked, then the heart of the cards, and then they win. It's just there's nothing.
No
structure after that.
And like, honestly, so the final fight with Seeker is whatever. I don't really care about that, honestly. It's kind of mentioning this is the first time previous season Ryder uses the next season's belt, which that is kind of cool, actually. Because I know, like,
the belts.
There's Gaim and Drive that swap gimmicks.
Belt itself.
Like they get, Gaim gets the orange, or I'm sorry, Drive gets like the orange hat thing going on because he uses the like orange car. I forget what it is.
And why am I so upset about it?
I don't know.
Like, it's not right.
The Drive one was kind of cool. I like the Drives. I don't remember what happens in that movie at all, other than they like ride and Trideron into space.
Give me this. I know that they had just released it at the time. Maybe if it's like that far back. Twin Command, right? How is Twin Command not the one you give Vice and Revi? How is Twin Command not the one you give Vice and Revi?
Because it's not two people wearing one belt. It's one belt that's both sides.
Give them both.
So you have one use cannon, one use jet, is what you're saying?
You did that for the show.
because you have to let apparently it's also Sakura was saying this takes place before the Fox Hunt episode, so Tycoon technically wouldn't have had that second one yet. Maybe that's why. But I think they just wanted to give Geats like the most recent form. So
that's what it had to be. But
I just like Revi using music didn't really make sense to me.
They didn't even really use the powers.
Yeah, like he just used the guitar axe thing. Like that's all he really used. But like I'm trying to think, like, obviously Monster. I get it. I just don't really like get why that one, but there's really not like any like Revi choice, like there's really not like, other than another monster, like that would really be it. But like,
so long story is they fight them back to get the heart of the cards, and all of this just leads up to probably the second most badass moment of this whole show. Shinji shows up.
No, you have to do the build up. Come on now.
What are you talking about? There's no
There's build up, kind of. They're all fighting.
Knight gets involved. Gets involved very briefly.
Yeah, it's great, and they're all fighting. Oja like fucks off eventually, I think, and then I think Oja and Knight start fighting. That's what it is. Knight holds back Oja, and then they rider kick the fuck out of Ryuga to explode the mirror. And out pops Shinji, who was apparently trapped in the mirror world. Yeah. And so, cool. Like, as Ryuga's like, Shinji's just standing there, and they're like, yo, what the fuck? Why is he red now?
What just happened?
What's going on? They literally go, what is happening?
It's like, you okay? He's like, what?
Yeah. And then I think Ren the one who, like, info dumps it? He's like, oh, yeah, that's Ryuki. That's the real one, by the way. Yeah. And he's like, my bad, I was stuck in the mirror world. Sorry, guys. Tried to help.
George does the henshin. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, yeah.
So, and then Ryuki is the one who finishes off Ryuga, and I think knocks him back into the mirror world, something like that.
Now you have your fight with Ren and Oja, this is where I was like, wow, these suits look beat to shit.
Yes, specifically Ren's. Yes, the night suit looked like it's been through some shit.
it is falling apart. I'm like, guys, like,
The
how do you
foam
not
is
have
literally deteriorating around him.
like, I guess it's supposed to be battle damage and the fact that they are old, but it doesn't look like it's. How do I put this? It doesn't look like anything other than an old, worn out suit. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like battle damage. It doesn't look like scratches. It just looks tired.
It looks like the Ava foam is falling apart, is what it looks like.
Right, and it's just like, okay, that's highly distracting because the Ryuki suit looks clean. Looks
like
fresh.
I don't know if they just kept it fresher or because they used it more and like pulled it out of storage more often or what. But like it looked sick. It looked like they almost redid the suit, and I don't know if they did, but it looked just as nice as like the first episode. Like it looked real good.
But that's the point. It's like you had that, and then you contrast it with the dying night suit. It's like, okay. So, but anyway,
even the Oja one looked fine. Like it didn't look great, but it looked fine.
It's just the undersuit, dude. Anyway. So that's all going on. It's kind of this whole nostalgia feel. You're getting the finale to, I guess, the Ryuki kind of thing. It's fine. It's fine to give you yours. It's fine. But the whole time this is going on, we're cutting to the Fortnite fight between Revice and Geats, who are just literally fighting walls against Seeker. They're chopping walls down.
He's holding Gigant hammer while his like robo arms have the sword, and he's holding the gun, and the robo arms have the hammer. So he has. I'll pull up Seeker here for the kids at home. But he has these like robo arms folded across his chest that like unfurl and like hold the other weapons because his whole thing is like swapping these big dumb weapons. And so like. He has them at some point, and he's just like carrying them all around, being terrible. Yeah, here it is. Here's the toy that you guys can get the idea of. They unfurl from his chest and like hold the other things, and he's holding the blaster while the things are holding the sword, which the sword is just the Tokudon Megazord sword, if you guys didn't know. The Gigant hammer, I'm sure, is something else. But I never noticed when Geats was using it, the capsules on his back are where the weapons come from. Did you notice that? So on his back, there's a red, blue, and gray capsule, which match the armaments that he has on him. And when he uses one, it like flies off his back and forms into the weapon. I never noticed that until this movie. I didn't notice it when Geats was using it, but I thought that was really cool. The blue one's on his side. I think that might be whatever, but that's cool. I like that a lot. That was a nice touch, and I do really like this suit, honestly. Like the helmet is really, I know you don't like it as much, but the helmet is really cool in my opinion, and I like I like the weapons a lot. I know they're reused props because most of the Geats powered weapons are, but like Gigant hammer is really goddamn cool.
It's the best thing he's got going.
It's the best thing. I just hate that it's this like you were saying, the Fortnite walls. But yeah, I noticed that little capsule thing, and that was just fucking way cooler than when Geats was using it. Yeah,
that's a nice touch. Then nothing. So they beat him back. Vice comes and shows up, and then they go to base Revice and Vice. They finally get baby Grogu out of his possession because he's just about to reach the apex of the giant butthole in the sky. Because there's always a giant butthole in the sky.
There's always a giant butthole.
And then suddenly, Geats turns into the fox. I mean, he calls upon the fox form to use the boosting. They do the rider kick. That's it. He gets rider kicked, which is not a nice touch because I always like that. I like when they like kick them through edifices. So all of that whole thing, the whole
I thought this
sequence,
kick, like I thought the kick was the only good part of this whole thing because Revy and Vice do their kick, right? Like they do their Rex kick, their stamping finish or whatever it is, and then like they like hit the ground and like roll off the platform because they kind of like just did it enough to like destroy his little robo arms or something. Like they hurt him, and that gives Geats the opportunity to do his big boost kick with the fox, and like that's what was kind of cool about this one, honestly.
No, you know what was really cool?
Did it end?
Shinji's fucking kick. We got to see
the full
Shinji's kick.
HD.
Oh
yes,
my God.
We got a full Shinji flip kick, and we saw the full flip. By the way, they only cut the last little bit with the dragon body. So if you guys don't know, when Ryuki does his kick, he does the thing, and then he jumps up and flips, but like the dragon covers like the actual flipping of the actor because it's all in like a CG background kind of thing. They kind of like cut up, and you see the dragon kind of swirling around him, and he's just like flipping, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
I've always liked that fire kick is always a nice
I really like Ryuki's kick. It's very cool.
So that's kind of the point. Is like that's the best thing that happens in this end sequence.
But also, I'm gonna say the Ryuki stuff was extremely shoehorned in, and it wouldn't have changed anything if they weren't there.
Absolutely not. So take that as you will.
Yeah.
If we're saying that the best thing was the most inconsequential. So.
The best thing about it was the extra piece that was just there because anniversary. So, yeah. Yes, and the movie did remix the Geats theme, which is pretty dope.
Oh, they did? Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
See, music cues I'm not too good with. So when you guys point that out, I definitely like it. But so Geats wins the DGP, the Desire Royale, and then he gets to fulfill his wish. Mm-hmm. And what's his wish? It's so cute. It is such a cute wish. A world where Geeky can remember everything, basically.
Yeah. He remembers Vice. Vice doesn't stay alive, or I should say materialized.
Yes.
But
Vice dies
he remembers Vice.
Yes.
Which is the important
Which is
part.
kind of like where I'm going with this whole thing, that either Iki and Vice are going to become Reiwa's, Eiji, and Ankh.
Probably.
Or this will be the end of it for them. You know what I mean?
I think we're going to get some kind of special, either like at the end of Geats or something like that, where like he resets the contract so they're just one big happy family again. At the end of a Visa Next, at the end of whatever, when it comes to Vice, they'll reset they'll make a new contract and it'll just reset them so Vice is just hanging out with the rest of them. It's gonna happen. Like they're gonna find some. It's either that or they're gonna make some bullshit miracle in his heart nonsense for him to come back every single memory or every single movie.
That's just the point. Like Iki's got this unfathomable depth of compassion.
Yeah,
that he can just continuously.
He can just continuously have near-death experiences where he goes into his own soul and like fights demons and then just poops out a new one for a limited amount of time. So. And
then honestly, the ending is just them sharing a meal at a sushi bar, the same sushi bar that they were at when they saved the old people.
Yep.
So, mind you, it's not that this movie wasn't good. It's just what I'm taking away from it is the Revice stuff is canon. This Geat stuff may or may not matter.
They do this weird thing where like they could all realize it, but it doesn't matter to the story whatsoever. So like it could be canon, but like no one, it has no consequences to the shit that's happening in Geats, so it doesn't matter.
I'll tell you how much that it matters that the last scene that they give is to Shinji.
Yes, this guy I just mentioned it. Shinji and Keiwa have a cool little moment because if you guys don't know, Keiwa is supposed to be our typical Kamen Rider protagonist. He is our heart of gold, wants to save the people, and it's kind of cool because Shinji is the same mentality, and Shinji's like, "Hey man, why are you fighting why are you a Kamen Rider?" He's like, "I wanna revive everyone that's been killed in the DGP or retired in the DGP." Yeah. And Shinji's like, "Hey, that's my shit. All right, this kid's pretty cool. I like that. All right.
I just want to stop all the fighting. I don't want anybody to."
He's like, "I want to revive all the people and stop the fighting." And then Shinji's like, "Hey, that's my thing. Cool. Yeah, hell yeah." And then like Shinji walks off and Ren comes up and he's like, "Hey man, you thought you were pretty cool back there, didn't you?"
Yeah, you thought you got to say the last thing. "Oh, you cool bastard." It's such a dope moment. Like you got. Thinking about it, remembering the fucking DVD set that you gave me 12 years ago already. And I'm like...
Calling it a DVD set is giving it a lot of credit. It's a burned fucking CD spindle.
When I say set, excuse me, but please picture in your head the Tower of Babylon worth of
it was literally, if you guys remember, like blank CDs, you can get like 50 of them for like $20. It was like a Memorex CD spindle in like Sharpie marker that was Ryuki 1 to 10, Ryuki 1 to whatever, but it was that and like every Heisei rider up until that point basically. And I was like, watch, research, go.
So, but that's kind of what I was doing in this moment, is like seeing those two old fucks, and I'm like, wow. This was what started me. These two, this story is what started me on this thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is hitting me a lot. I'm okay. No, I'm okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fine, damn, I would have rather just gotten a Ryuki anniversary movie. Damn. Damn.
Oh, man, I'm okay. This is fine. This is not going to be the last time. That's okay.
Nope. It's fine. Yeah, I definitely didn't slide my Ryuki Blu-rays over, and I was like, do I start this again? Do I start this journey again?
So yeah, that then obviously you get the credit thing, which is like them back at the D&D table, and then Michinaga disappears saying "fuck you guys."
Yep. He's like, I'm out.
So wherever this took place during the episodes, they reset the bracket back to normal, right? And that's kind of respectable that they just like, this may or may not matter, but we're just going to put this back in the boxes.
Yep.
And there you go. I forgot this last thing. Do you remember at the end of it, they're doing like this twisting duo where it's
yes, they have a really cool like super high def, like they're on a moving platform where it's both, I thought it was just the suits like just posed, and then they fucking move, and I was like, yo, that was cool.
Yo, they fucking, I was like, yo, how more. Holy fuck, that was cool.
That was dope. That's how you do a sweet little like Kamen Rider crossover moment. Like it's literally just it's the simplest thing ever. It's just the two of them standing there spinning in like their poses, but it's like, super statues. High def, super well lit. Like the suits look phenomenal, like the best they've ever looked. And like they're just spinning, and then they strike the pose again, like facing the camera. And I was like, oh, okay, hello.
Like, oh yeah, you thought these were statues?
Yeah.
Nope, it's us. Like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was it. Well, I guess there is a little thing with Cherum and all that, but whatever. It's just more of the same. More of the
Sakura is saying that's how Niram knew Ace was unusual. Yeah, because they have like the little phone call at the end.
Hidori starts his dickhead thing there. So yeah. But honestly, overall, what's your take?
Just give me a Ryuki anniversary special instead. That's not The Outsiders. So that's honestly, because like 90% of what I liked in this movie, I realized was like the Ryuki stuff, because Ryuki holds a very important place in my heart and like started this entire goddamn journey with Kamen Rider. So I will be extremely biased to anything Ryuki. It's not my favorite season, but like it's very important, and it's where I started. So anything with the original actors like doing things in the original suits, I am 10,000% for, except for Oja. Like I said, I'm tired of looking at him. Look at me, Zolda.
It's just
So like, I think this is better than some of the movies we've watched recently that have come out. I think it's a solid, like if I had to give it like an out of 10, a 6.
We don't really do that, but okay.
Yeah, we don't do that, but like I don't know how else to describe it, because like I'm very meh about it, like I don't really care about this movie, to be honest with you. But again, some of that is also like the same way I love Ryuki, I don't care about Revice. Like that's kind of the thing too. Like this was kind of like a Revice movie with some Geats at the end is kind of what this was, and that's fine. And like there's moments I enjoyed of the characters. Like Iki, I actually really enjoy as a writer. I actually really enjoy Iki. I just think he's a cool dude. I think he's a cool character. I have my issues with Vice that are everyone knows about at this point. He's just annoying too. I just think the character himself is goddamn annoying. So like the actor stuff doesn't help. But like at all. And like Daiji's a piece of shit. We talked about that. Daiji's trash. Sakura's fine. She just doesn't do anything. George kind of got annoying for me too. I know you love George, but he's just annoying for me at this point. And like at best, Iki is like the good one, and it's like, but he also comes in tow with like the shiniest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. So
he's got nothing going on now. So it's like, okay.
And it's like I'd rather have just like the Iki show, and I know that's not his thing, and that makes him not a unique writer at this point. So I just like I didn't like Revice. I don't really care for Revice or anything that's coming out of Revice, but it's fine. I like Geats. I'll watch anything with Geats and Buffa, and like I said, Ryuki puts some nice stuff to keep me interested, I guess. I don't know if I would have made it to the end of this movie if the Ryuki stuff wasn't spiced in there. I'm going to be honest.
I got you. It's just
except that sushi section. That sushi section was goddamn adorable. It was shoehorned as hell. Like everything in this movie is shoehorned as hell. But it was adorable. So I guess
there's my take on it. This movie was an okay ending for Revice if that was the end focus. But the idea that they had to shoehorn a lot of the Geats elements and then interject the Ryuki because of, I get what they had to do. But if it had any consequence beyond Revice, if you're planting seeds for a future thing, I think I'm going to like this a lot more. But if nothing happens out of this, you know what I mean? If this just days in this pocket hell, then this was a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
I'm okay because this was fun, but if it's not canon, I really hate that they wasted a chance.
I think it would have been really great. Here's how I would have made this movie better, right? And you can give your take on this. So they're doing the fight, right? Everything literally plays out until the last 5 minutes of the fight. So they're doing the fight. Geats and Revi and Vice are doing their thing, and then all of a sudden you hear a huge crash of lightning. You hurt my son, and Veil fucking drops out of the sky. Kaboom!
Yo, Crimson
Veil. And Stream is standing fucking next to him. Both of them just out of the sky. You hurt my son.
All of the screws in Seeker's outfit would just unscrew themselves and just fall on the floor and run away.
The whole buckle just like detaches and flops away. That's how I would fix this movie. Just give it the full Soul Land treatment. You hurt my son. Let's go.
They should have given us a fight between Genta and at least maybe Oja. That would have been fucking cool.
It would have been kind of cool. But I feel like they're saving Genta for like other things. Because like I don't think we've seen the last of that Stream suit.
I hope not. It's okay. It's got the whole formula thing with the chest piece being a little bigger than the
Stream suit, honestly.
But the design is nice. It's just the whole thing is like a little bit, like maybe a foot longer than it needs to be. But okay, it just means. And
normally I would absolutely be there with you, but for some reason this one just kind of clicks for me. I really like this one. So, fair. And I think it's just because I've been watching your face talk about it for the last 2 weeks and like looking through clips and shit.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Not everybody gets to, so thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, the people, you know who really got me kind of like weirded out lately? I love you guys, but the people who are saying they're marathoning the streams, I'm like, how do you tolerate us that long?
Yeah, I don't even tolerate me that long.
We do this once a week so we don't kill each other.
Yeah. But it's also really fun. Like, the basis to that is, holy shit, you guys are amazing. First off, I just want to say that. But also, like, I don't want to spend that much time with me. So I appreciate y'all wanting to spend that much time with me and him. Because I don't want to spend that much time with me. And I live with myself.
We are the craziest individuals when it comes to this. And we just talk shit 60% of the time. And then figure out how we're going to talk the other 40%.
Yeah. The other 40% is, yo, remember this one random thing that kind of reminded us of this, and we turned into like that spiral that goes over there. Like,
because it's been our lives.
Like, do you want to talk about Soul Land now? We can talk about Soul Land now that I mentioned You Hurt My Son.
Tom Hao is just this whole entity now. He's becoming this mythological thing for us as an inside joke. Like, whenever you have like this magnificent moment that is being interrupted by an even more magnificent son of a bitch, that is the Tong Hao moment.
Yeah.
You hurt my son. Like, it is time to face the Reaper.
And then like it to the point where like Soul Land is becoming a basis to like everything we judge by. Like, we have the Tong Sun power scale. So Tong San is the main character in this show, and he is, like, we used to call everything Madara level, right? Now everything is Tong San level. That's ascended past Madara.
It shows us, because we are showing our hand a little bit in our age, because Madara established this whole power scale before Jujutsu Kaisen and all that other stuff came out. Madara was like unbeatable. We're like, how? That's why the writer had to bullshit a way to beat him.
Literally, if you guys didn't know, Kishimoto didn't know how to end that, so he was like, fucking Kagura shows up. I don't know. There you go.
So when we said that, that's kind of the establishing factor here. Is like that level of unbeatable was untouched until we met this Tong family, who just so happened to be these gods among men.
Quite literally.
Like, they're just like, there's your power, there's your Super Saiyan, right? Your Super Saiyan is like maybe the first 2 rings of their power scale. Maybe less. But then they go and add like 4 or 5 power scales on top of that. And you have this anime, this show, that takes every major power from every major anime, ties it into the story, and makes it stronger.
Like, and then it turns into ridiculous, because not only do you have soul rings, which are essentially your jutsu rings, right? Like, you get jutsu techniques, and then they add in this idea of soul bones, which is armor you can equip that gives you more things, and then you can learn all of these god techniques, and then you start mixing them, and then you learn something called the fucking killer domain, and then you learn It just gets absolutely insanity. And like I have to find a chart, or I'm gonna make a goddamn like chart of like where these techniques come from that like connect to each other, because so here's Tang San, here's his like 9 abilities that he normally has, but then he gets rid of all of those and gets 9 more, and then he puts 9 on the other thing because he can do this.
His second incarnation,
and then he merges these 2 that create 4 other techniques, then he combines 2 of those to do this, and then all of a sudden you have this weird thing that looks like the fucking progression the fucking skill tree in Path of Exile, because that thing is disgusting.
It's also the way that my brain works when I try to tell stories. So that's that whole Pepe Sylvia thing is.
It's literally the Pepe Sylvia chart. It gets to that point with his powers, and I'm like, I try to connect the dots, and at some points where I'm just like, they're not even bothering to explain it. We're just going with it. Okay. Like the show itself is not even going to bother. So, okay, we're fine.
Yeah. What we're saying is you guys should check out some of the stuff that we do, because we have a lot of stuff going on in our brain pan, and it stems from all this crap that we watch.
Yep.
And it's all dope. This Soul Land thing took over a big portion of our attention. And
my attention, you really, can say it. It's my attention.
But, you know,
dude, I'm just very loud and obnoxious.
I'm 60 deep already, and I'm not even trying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just watching these here.
I tried and watched like 250 episodes in a month.
We speak from experience.
Yeah.
We have mastered the technique of marathoning a show.
Yeah.
You remember Legend Riders? I did that in 3 days.
Yeah. So, like, that's 50 goddamn episodes. So some of you may know the hyperbolic time chamber you can enter when you need to marathon something.
Comes this zone, you space. I remember the Legend Rider thing, and I remember taking notes while I was watching, and then
not remembering any.
Like, what did I just watch?
That's the only issue with consuming that much media that quickly. Very little of it is going to stick.
But it's kind of the whole thing. And let me tie this in so that we can almost kind of get this expedited.
Okay.
It's this whole idea where we pull from the shit that we like. Mm-hmm. Legend Riders, for example. The only reason I think I was able to make it through that was because it pulled from the Dynasty Warriors heroes. Yep. And when you have elements of stuff that you're interested in, as everybody else knows, it pulls you. And if you have ADD like us, it pulls you deep. So this Soul Land thing for you has been your deep well. Mm-hmm. The one for me is a lot of the SCP stuff. Yep. And that shit consumed me for a big couple months.
Yep.
But it was more of what I took from that and what I put forward from it that is kind of the lasting legacy of it. Because of this SCP fascination I had, I developed a writer out of it. I developed my own character out of it. We created the basis of a story, which has now become this
quite literally a Pepe Sylvia chart, just so you guys know.
Yeah. It's this titan of a project that we've taken on, and every element of it is drawn from a source that we have a connection to.
Yep.
And it's just that the more that we create, the more that we're getting here. It's kind of the whole thing is where we're excited to share it with you guys. We have so much progress that we've made, and we are nearing a finish line that is tangible.
Yep.
And you know, it's really from here forward that what we're going to try to do is introduce this to you guys. Now it's going to take a couple tries, a couple videos to explain the entire thing, because unfortunately what we've done to ourselves is create an entire world and universe within this whole thing. So
I like doing that. I'm not good at stories. I like just building worlds and a lot of this shit. So just real brief, I'm not going to get into any details, real super brief. There's an old world and the modern, like the current world. And so I kind of just developed all the shit that wasn't story beats for this old world, and none of it is actually in the final one. I just really liked making this old world bullshit.
So the thing is, it's important though, because before we premiere this show, once it's ready, I want to get you guys on board with the story itself, because the more you guys know before we go into this, the better and more exciting it's going to be for me to show you, because all the old world stuff that Carl was just talking about is the heart of the story. It's everything that we're building off of to the modern story, where it takes place where the story we're going to tell is taking place, but these core things that happened in the old world need to be there. You gotta know this, because
most of them. Some of them are just because it's cool and I like it.
It is. But so if we get to be as ambitious as I want, and we're gonna have like maybe 2 or 3 seasons of this shit, every element is gonna play back into itself. So it's like this is kind of the whole point. It's like the reason it's taken us what, a year or two just to solidify where exactly we wanted, what story we wanted to tell, and where we were gonna start. That this iteration of it is, one, my favorite. 2, I don't think anybody can deny how fucking wild we are with this shit. So like it's more of an excitement of this. Welcome to the world. We're gonna play, and what we really want is to show you guys that this world that we're building is the basis of what we're gonna expand on, and hopefully with your guys' contributions in terms of ideas, in terms of concepts for riders, because there's a tournament arc at some
there's a
point
tournament arc, kids. I love a fucking tournament arc. That's why I love Geats.
So it's really just gonna be something that we're gonna have to do, take a whole episode and go into one day. But so you guys are aware, it does have all of the basis in the inspirations for the shit that we want, and we created a world where the mundane normal world is clashing with the old world, and the old world now is back and in force. So what do we do in a modern world when we're facing that kind of shit?
Essentially, it's kind of like a play on like, and I feel like this, this reference because we talk about it all the time, and I've used this reference before, but I feel like it dates me because this isn't a relevant movie to anyone anymore. But Encino Man, if anyone knows what that movie is, no, like you probably don't, most of the people listening or watching this later, but like that is kind of my writer's basis. Is he's from this old world and he's very fish out of water. And that's kind of like his whole shtick. He's essentially he's literally an old world warrior that is thrust into this modern world, and it's kind of like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna start swinging. So yeah, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, it's just that whole thing where his writer is that the writer that I would create is a modern dude who accidentally stumbles onto this shit and has to figure out how to fix it. With Encino Man writer. So like this is the story that we will tell in stretches. We want to explain the world to you. The
best way to kind of put it is my dude is thrown into the new stuff and your dude has the old stuff thrown at him.
And then it's all a matter of those two coming to work together.
And they have to somehow figure it out. So it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll go another time to into story and have enough time, because it is going to take us a couple tries to not a couple tries, a couple episodes to explain everything the way it needs to be rolled out. But mind you, the Pepe Sylvia is a real thing in my head. There's a legit timeline that I've created.
I've seen them many times, friends.
There's all this stuff, and it's all just to tell this kind of story that, one, I don't think has really ever been told in terms of writer. And then in the way we've taken a lot of inspirations from writers, but nothing this way. So I'm excited because there's so much of this story that we've created that can yet develop further. So even the core story, once I've told mine, will be available for bungee jumping off of others. It's just what we're setting up. Man. Tournament arcs and everything. Fucking
Tournament arcs, kids. I love tournament arcs. They'll have cameos that no one knows except for me and you. It'll have cameos for projects that have long been dying in the corner, and they're like, just give me one drip of water, please. One drop.
Remember that Dragoon fan fiction I read 20 years ago?
Yeah.
It's gonna be that.
There's gonna be one of those in there. They're going to be, if you guys, so I keep saying random things I feel like we've talked about before, but we're on a new thing, so I'm going to say it anyway. I wrote we talked about one on a separate podcast. So if you guys, on this channel, actually, there's a separate little podcast that we did called Kaiju Carl's Coffee Corner. I apologize for the death of that. I'll get to more episodes eventually. But I talked about a story I wrote. Yeah, it's fine. We'll get to that eventually. It was never meant to be like a regular thing. We talked about a series, or a series, I guess. Yeah, I wrote called Prodigy, and I blew your fucking mind because I never talked to you about that before. And then, I also wrote another one called Sation, which you know way more about, but I never actually talked about with you folks at home. So maybe we'll do another episode of that at some point. But it's this like magnum opus thing that I worked on for like the better part of 10 years, and it just kind of hit a stalling point, so I just haven't really worked on it. But like, it's always in the back of my head where it's like, do you remember me? Welcome.
That's the cameo.
Yeah. And then we were like, oh, tournament arc, and we're like, the cameo would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I'm not going to deny that a lot of this is our own self-indulgence, but it's more to the fact that we know what you guys like too. Yeah, we're playing to that. And we owe this a lot. A lot of it I owe to the encouragement, because honestly, if I was just doing this for me, I'd have given up a year ago, you know what I mean? But just the fact that I see this creation coming together, and I'm excited to present it to you guys. I'm excited to show it to you guys. We're constantly building on it. It's constantly being worked on. And the reason why is because at this point we're having the characters being developed or designed one by one. It's taking time because life. But we are at the point where we can start casting. I wanted to get a pitch out there. Start here. I'll make another video, but I'm gonna start here because this is going out too. We're looking to try to look for cast for these characters. If you're interested in being part of the project, given the little blurb I gave you here, you can reach out to us. You have all of our socials. We'll kick them again with the shameless plugs. But honestly, we're looking to reach out to anybody who's interested in doing the voice acting work, because ultimately I want to make this an audio play, something that we can listen to at work. Because we all do the same. Because
animation is expensive too.
I was gonna say, but I mean, that's a dream. That's a dream. We are designing these characters for the goal of having the designs there. If it was just to keep it on the shelf, I wouldn't bother. No,
like we're slowly getting like art together. Right now it's all of like reference images we kind of find across the internet, but like slowly we're getting art. Like we have our characters already because we just had them for the channel. But like we're, there's our villain rider, there's the tertiary, there's all that kind of stuff. We'll get them eventually, and like there's the kaijin and all the villains and stuff like that. We'll get that stuff eventually. But like, that stuff costs money. And so like animating those too also costs a lot of money. So audio play is the most financially feasible way to actually make this a thing. And also, obviously, you guys apparently like listening to us talk, so that's cool. So thank you. Appreciate that.
So and putting episodes of this together. So in essence, the tentative title is the Tokudon Riders Season 1. So that's what we're working on now. So the casting, please hit us up if you're interested and spread the word. And obviously, I think how many characters? Like nine characters.
I can pull the page up real quick. I have it actually open right now. Let me see. It's loading. Hang on.
Including a narrator.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the 9 would be the narrator. And many bullet points. And that's not including, the people inside of here and the crazy nonsense Pepe Sylvia that each of the. So I want you guys to understand this. So when I say the Pepe Sylvia wall, if you guys have ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's the fucking joke, the Pepe Sylvia thing. He's got like the red tack string fucking everywhere, right? Now imagine that with the story points. And then every character's name has their own individual Pepe Sylvia fucking thing splattered across it. Yeah. And then some of those have their own splinter Pepe Sylvia things. That's what we're looking at here.
Yes. So I'm just going to take a quick snap here, and just so you guys can see exactly what he's talking about right here.
I'll just pull it up if you want.
Well, it's just a glimpse.
I'll pull up Gaan's. How about that? So they can see that.
Okay. Yeah. There's guns.
Yeah, so I'll pull this up. Here you go, kids. This is this is what we're talking about. So this is Campfire, this is the program that he has used to create this. This is kind of what we'd like collaborate on as well. This is my rider here, as you guys can tell. That's the channel rider, all that kind of stuff. This is my dude up here too. Yeah, this is kind of what it is. And then there's stuff over here. there's a music things, there's things to this, yada yada. Yep, you can read all that. That's quick. Like, there you go.
The reason why let me put out the casting, because the reason why I'm doing the casting is because what is set in stone are the characters themselves.
Yep.
And if you see right here, I really dive deep into my characters. I come up with their stories, I come up with their motivations, I give them mood music, things to listen to in order to inspire you to get into the right headspace. I pretty much lay everything out. The only thing that I don't ever care about with my characters is exactly how they sound like, because I don't really have that, and what they look like, because I don't really care. So it's like the only thing I care about is what they henching into, and if you give me a damn good performance, because ultimately, if you are about the project, it's gonna come through. And I might be a little bit crazy with my directing, because you can ask him, but it's more just because I know where the heart is, and if it's there, it's not hard. So
there was one time we did a Bleach fan fiction, and he was like, yo, I need you to do this monster voice. I was like, okay, cool. So I did it like 3 different ways, and then this one time he's like, I need a little more. So I did this really like kind of thing, and he was like, that's the one. For the next 3 hours, like
blow out your vocal cord for me to give me everything I need. Thank you.
And I was like, I'm fine.
So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is just kind of a glimpse into this reality. So if you are interested, if you know people who might be, hit us up on our socials. Definitely Tokudon cast. I'll get it. Tokudon@gmail.com. Also, to do
Tokudon cast, by the way. Tokudon cast at Gmail is their email.
Tokudon@gmail.com. You can hit me up on TikTok, 6echoes_Tokudon. On our Twitters, yours. We'll do this all again. But anyway,
Twitter. I'm at Kaiju Carl. You're at 6echoes. I mean, it's Twitter. You guys can also just message us on here. Comment on this. Whatever afterwards, or any of the videos really. I think you can send DMs on YouTube. I honestly don't know YouTube that well. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on Twitch. Either way, twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. We hang out there 4 nights a week. Actually 3 if we do YouTube more often. But 4 nights a week. It's usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. You can always pop in there and be like, hey man, want to be a part of that thing. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah, hell yeah. We usually play some games, talk about Toku, so it's always fun over there. Even if it's not a usual like podcast day, we're always talking about Toku or something. So
Yeah. You were just playing something the other day, right?
We played. So the other day, we actually played the Garo game from 2005, 6, the Golden Knight Garo game, and it's fucking fire. And it has one of the coolest levels in any video game I've ever had, where they are skating down the side of a skyscraper, and it's literally angled like this, and they're just skating down a skyscraper, and that's the entire level, because that actually happens in the show, and it's wild. It's peak fucking Toku. Garo's amazing. You guys should go watch Garo.
Please check out some of our other stuff.
Yes.
So go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to sign out. Like I was just talking about this whole time, I also have a YouTube channel, but I do more of the horror stuff there. You can check that out. It's 6 Echoes on YouTube. Other than that, like I said, I have the TikTok, 6echoes_Tokudon. I post these things called the Toku Minutes there. Sorry, I've taken a little bit of a break from that because of this Toku project that we're working on, but I'm going to start getting back on the horse with that. Cool. Other than that, catch me here on Sundays with this maniac.
Yeah. And we'll probably do YouTube a little more. We'll figure it out. It'll be a little smoother. But either way, we'll probably be on YouTube a little more often doing live stuff. If not, in the meantime, you guys can obviously follow the channel if you're not already. We are posting up all kinds of different videos. There's the What is Kamen Rider Fighters, where we designed a Kamen Rider fighting game. There's going to be some more videos I'm going to do with that, with the DLC and character breakdowns. Yes, there's character breakdowns, by the way. If you guys are into fighting games, go check that out. There's the Y videos as well that usually will probably get taken down pretty quickly from John Toei, so you get to check it out real quick, and then about 48 hours later, John Toei will take it down, and then you get it 10 days later. So the next one coming out is Y Genta Igarashi, or Kamen Rider Veil / Stream. That one should be out. I'm gonna get it out this week. I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone and just get it out this week. Yeah. I said that 3 weeks in a row now, but I'm definitely absolutely getting it out this week. It's our longest one so far. That's why it's taking longer. It's literally the longest one by like 5 minutes.
Wow, and I
Yeah.
cut the script in half. Oh my god.
Oh no, you poor! I would have been mad if you sent me that. Oh my god!
Wow.
It
Okay,
is the
sorry,
longest
guys.
one
That's
by
my
like
fault.
5 minutes.
That is my fault then. I was
So
like, you
I
know
am
what?
working on it. I am tolling away because I love editing. It's kind of fun for me. So, but either way, we'll be back. If not, like I said, twitch.tv/KaijuCarl. You guys can always find us over there. In the meantime, if you want to hang out live. So I'm out, yo. Deuces.
See ya. Thanks for coming, guys.